What is up, YouTube land? How you doing? Hopefully you're comfy. We're here with our fourth sit down.
Oh, so big discovery.
Oh.
I can't believe I didn't figure this out the entire time I 100% this game. But this game does have jump ball. It's just locked to only waggle. But if you do up, you jump.
Oh, wow.
I think I said last time
he's literally waggling.
But you have to do it with waggle. There's no button prompt for this.
When we say waggle, of course, it means that he's flipping the Wii remote up.
But I literally had no idea. All the other Prime games, I'm not sure about the Wii compilations. Maybe they added it to Metroid Prime 1 and 2. But in those games, you have to use bombs to jump.
So, if I may start with a very important non-Metroid related question, unless there's something really big happening right now.
No.
Okay. Why are like 80% of like events, like stadiums and restaurants and whatever, partner with Pepsi and not Coke?
Probably just cheaper.
That's probably what I'm thinking. Pepsi probably is the cheaper one, but like Costco, I think every single fast food place I can think of except for McDonald's is Coke. Is Burger King Coke?
Yes.
Okay. But most that I can think of is Pepsi. I think, I know Taco Bell is, I think Arby's is.
I think Popeyes is Coke. Which is interesting.
That would be interesting.
I think so.
KFC is definitely Pepsi because they have a lot of like A&W things, which I forget if A&W is owned by Pepsi or not, but anyway, it's very interesting. It's like, and whenever you go to a baseball game, football game, anything like that, it is like 95% going to be Pepsi, not Coke. So
it has to just be cheaper.
Yeah.
Talking about drinks, pour one out for my PC. This is probably the last LP session that we'll have to record on it because it is dying. Now this PC is very old and I've used it a ton. I don't have a life, so whenever I am home and not working, I'm usually just on my computer. So it's probably gotten 70 hours of use every week for 10 years.
Pretty damn good.
So I'm not... It's just, you know, I don't like spending money. But I bought a new PC.
Well, I mean, especially it was blue screening pretty often.
Yeah,
if when that happens, I mean, what else can you do?
If you notice, if the screen turns to like solid blue, let me know. Hopefully, I mean, it's not like restarting all the time, but it is just...
Wait, are you talking to me about that?
Yeah, if you notice that it turns like solid blue or something, just let me know.
On the TV?
On the monitor.
Oh, okay.
Why would I ask about the TV?
I don't know. Well, because I can't fully see the monitor, but I guess
just like the reflection of the color.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will keep an eye out.
It's obvious because my home screen is like very solid royal blue, so if you see that, it's just like solid blue. It's
understood. Okay, makes sense.
But it's like, I don't know. Like one day it like reset like 5 times on me, and then another day only did it once. It's totally random. I can't figure out what's going on. I can't even tell if like making it do stuff worsens it, or if it's just like, I think it's something wrong with the power supply, or I don't know. I've tried everything.
Yeah.
Actually, if the recording sounds different, I switched back to the old SSD before we switched to the 1 terabyte, and I had to reconfigure a lot of stuff. So the compressor is like on, but I don't know if it's the same settings. But I listened to the test recording; it sounded fine to me, but we'll see. But I've tried everything. I tried the old SSD. I tried undervolting my CPU. I tried reinstalling Windows. Just nothing.
Good old being worried about PC messing up.
That's
but at least I know. So like I see on the reflection, I was like, oh, is that blue? But now I know what to look for. Like very.
It's like
blue. Like
very
blue. Obvious. Yeah. Speaking of drinks, soda is like really expensive now.
That's good. Make Americans less fat.
That's true. I mean, but here's the thing. All right, let me ask you this: the fact that cigarettes are like $10+ a pack, does that stop anyone who's already smoking from smoking?
I think it prevents people from starting.
That's probably correct.
But yeah, it really does. Like, it probably ruins people's lives that are addicts.
Right. Well, because I know,
like, financially, they're probably
plenty of people. It's not uncommon if you're a smoker to smoke 2 packs a day. That's like, depending on your brand, 20 to 25 to even $30 a day, depending on where you are. And like that doesn't. Well, I mean, to me it sounds like a lot, but like $30 a day, that's like $200 a week just for that. It's tough. But yeah, I was like, oh, I'll pick up some diet soda for the house, whatever, and it's like $4 for a 2-liter. I'm like, what the crap? Like, and I wasn't at like a fancy store. I was at Redner's, which is like a warehouse market thing.
Yeah, I don't drink too much soda. Like,
I just wanted it so I can put some ice on Sprite Zero.
But I was about to say that I don't drink much soda, but if I see, like, if they have, like, Baja Blast, like, in the store, I really like Baja Blast. But they had it at Redner's the other day. But, a cube of it was, like, $11.99 or something. Oh, yeah, right.
And a cube is only, what, like, 12?
I think it was more than 12, but it was, like, still, like, ridiculously high.
I mean, and it's, like... Again, I'm not... It's not negative for me for paying for quality, but it's like you're paying for something that's essentially high fructose corn syrup sugar water. Like, I'm literally drinking a Diet Pepsi right now, so I'm not trying to say, oh, people who drink them are bad or anything. It's more of like, holy crap, like this stuff at the very least shouldn't be expensive. Like, come on, guys.
You know what the really awesome thing about the last year or so with inflation being so bad? A lot of the inflation is because of corporate profit seeking. Like, corporations are just charging as much as possible, even if it doesn't make any financial sense. And because everything's expensive, it's making everything else expensive, which is literally causing inflation. And it's just because they're greedy and they want to give shareholders a higher stake. It's like, cool. I'm glad that the world is ending because of this completely frivolous thing.
I will say it
and you can read reports about it. There's like reports about like studies on like, hey, yeah, a lot of the inflation is because of literally corporate prophecy. Pretty cool. I love America.
No, I will say that in the case of me and soda, the fact that it was so expensive, I just didn't. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like a Diet Sprite, Diet Pepsi, whatever, like just like a 6-pack, a 12-pack, and it was like, for the bottles, it was like $5.99, $6.99 for a 6-pack of like Coke Zero, and I was like, no thanks. You know what I mean? It's like that's too much for something that is just essentially bad for you. So I was like, nah. So it stopped me. You did a good job, Coke, of making me drink healthier stuff.
Yeah. I still buy. I don't buy bottled water, but I buy water by the gallon. Because I hate tap water, especially Effort tap water. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know that our water is like what's known as hard water, and I notice it with my hair after like showers. It like, I don't know how to explain it. It's clean, but it's not like super clean, or it makes you feel like yeah.
There's so many minerals. It just feels like frizzy and like a little like hardened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and maybe the minerals are good for you, in general.
Especially if you drink purified water, like distilled water, that they take everything out except for just like, it's just H2O. It's gonna taste weird. Like if you drink any spring well, they always add minerals to it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I'm one of those people. I've been told that for some people it's hard to believe. I actually just had this conversation with a couple people earlier, but like I don't like just water. I mean, I drink it, don't get me wrong, but like I like to put a little bit of those I think they're called like Mio little like squirt things. You squirt like a little blueberry in it. And I don't go crazy, I'm not like someone getting tea and it's like, oh, it's healthy, and then like putting like 6 tablespoons of sugar in it. It's just like a little squirt, but it's like just normal water. I will say when I'm outside and say like I'm doing like a sport or like it's hot, then it's incredibly refreshing. But if I'm like chilling, hanging around the house, I don't like just water. I don't know.
I'm fine with just water. With meals, it's not the greatest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Instead of just drinking it. In fact, I don't know. Like, drinking anything, like, if it has sugar, I'm just like, I want to brush my teeth.
That's fair.
And,
well, the tea that I make, I don't use any sugar at all.
But even, like, I'm just, like, if I don't really like diet soda anymore because it just tastes so chemically and it, like, lingers on my tongue forever. Yeah. That's why I usually prefer water when I'm just drinking something.
That's fair. You could be like all the quote-unquote self-help people when you go to certain message boards and be like, you know, if I went on a lot of message boards and was like, why are groceries so damn expensive? You know that a bunch of people would be like, drink water only, buy a 50-pound bag of rice, buy a 50-pound bag of beans, boom, you have a month's worth of food. I've probably said this before, but that's always like the most hilarious. It's like, yes, I do want to live like a feudal Chinese,
Yeah, just eat the most, like, just the base ingredients.
Like, I don't
but
need
on the other hand,
crazy stuff.
The other extreme, when people complain about groceries and they take a picture of, like, being like, this is unsustainable. I can't believe groceries are this much, and they only, like, show, like, processed garbage.
Yeah, it's like
just
Pepsi,
like
Doritos.
Yeah, a bunch of snacks, bunch of soda.
Frosted Flakes. And again, I'm not saying that stuff isn't wrong I mean, it's like, it's not great for you, but in moderation it's not bad. Like, everyone likes Frosted Flakes or whatever, but like, yeah, their entire picture will be like only that stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And they'll always be like, this is ridiculous. And like, it's never, I don't know if they're made purposefully to get people angry, but like, for me, I'm like, get some of the store brands, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, instead of doing the Doritos, do like the orange chips, mate, or whatever they call them, or, you know, instead of Frosted Flakes. Oh man, what are some of those names for the cereals that are hilarious at like Walmart?
Oh god.
Instead of fruit, oh man, I don't want my phone on me. It's charging.
Like Fruity Wheels.
Yeah. You're right. Instead of Fruit Loops, it would be Fruity Wheels. Instead of Cheerios, it would be round.
Golden Hoops.
Golden Hoops. There you go. I love it.
This is interesting. We're getting a Screw Attack. In Metroid Prime 2, you don't get Screw Attack until the game's almost over. And Screw Attack lets you just, like, float through the air. It is limited in this game. You can only do, like, 5 bounces, I think. But still, like, I can easily traverse, like, that huge gap now. But the other weird thing is that you don't get Spider Ball until the third and last planet when it's like half over. So it feels like they're like, here's Screw Attack early, but you don't get Spider Ball, which is weird. But Metroid Prime 2 has a lot of Spider Ball stuff. There's literally a Spider Ball boss in that game.
Pretty neat.
It's cool.
So I've been watching Twin Peaks. I've never finished it. I saw like the first season, and then I don't know, life happened and I wasn't able to finish. But now I'm going through the whole thing, and
oh shit, that's completely worthless.
It really is pretty good. And man, one of the games that I've always wanted to do as an LP, but I just think it has too much dead air to do it, is Deadly Premonition. And
I think that game's hilarious, but yeah, I don't think it would be a super.
It would have to be very curated. Like I would have to like just save right before like important parts. But yeah, it's hilarious, cool. But anyway, like there's times where like you can see in like Silent Hill 1 where they took ideas from like Rosemary's Baby and Twin Peaks and Jacob's Ladder. Like you can see the ideas. And then you see Deadly Premonition, which, it's not taking ideas from Twin Peaks. It literally is Twin Peaks. Like, it's crazy the amount that they're just like, yep, Twin Peaks in video game form. Like, instead of Agent Dale Cooper talking to a person you never see called Diane, who he's always talking to his little tape recorder, the main character talks to, like, a guy named, like, Sam or something like that. And he'll just, like, hold his hand up to his ear, kind of like the codec calls in Metal Gear Solid and be like, Sam, I think I got it. And I'm like, oh my god, like, this is shameless. Like, holy moly. There's certain levels where something just completely copies, and I'm like, all right, guys. They should have called it. They should have called the town, like, instead of Twin Peaks, they should have called it Dual Hills or something like that. And they're like, here you go. Ah, yeah, welcome to Dual Hills. Oh, thanks. The craziest part about Twin Peaks, it's not nearly the weirdest thing David Lynch has ever done. But the fact that it's, like, fairly weird, and the fact that it was on network TV in 1990 blows me away.
It's pretty crazy.
2 seasons, too.
He did Eraserhead, right?
Yeah.
I watched that, and I thought it was just, like,
that's
too weird.
It's god-awful. I like some David Lynch stuff pretty good, but that one is god-awful.
I started Twin Peaks. I don't know why I never finished it. I should finish it.
Dale Cooper is, like, one of the greatest characters. The FBI guy is one of the greatest characters ever. I also really like the Sheriff Harry S. Truman, and I just love that his name is it's the full name of the president, and it's like one time it's used as a joke where the agent Dale Cooper was like, and I'm meeting up with Sheriff Harry S. Truman. That should be an easy name to remember. It's like, okay, it's like used for like a one-off joke, and that's like just his name. So. But yeah, it's really, some of Lynch's stuff is way too out there. He also did the thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and this may be like a little out there, but I don't like when directors use the same actors like over and over again. Like, for instance, Scorsese and Robert De Niro, and then later on Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, having a actor in like one or two things, like, perfectly fine, but like DiCaprio's in like most of the last like 7 or 8 Scorsese movies as the main character. It's like he has a movie and it's like, guess who the main character is? And that's kind of lame, because I'm like, well, what if he's not right for the role? Like, how is he right for every role, you know?
Another stupid ship missile. Talking about ship missiles for a little tiny second, I honestly thought that they would matter in like the very last like part of the game, because there's like 7 expansions for the ship missiles, but then they just end up not mattering at all, and I think you only use ship missiles on the first planet. It's like, why is it why is this a collectible? And enemies just drop ship missiles too, so you just beat an enemy, you can get them even if you have 0. So just weird. Anyway, continue.
That is odd. No, I just, like I said, I know some people might like that, but I'm more of a fan of, like, if I had to do it, would be finding the right person. You know, because it's like, there's, I think it's called The Irishman. It's a somewhat recent, like within the last 5 years, Netflix movie made by Martin Scorsese, and it's about like Irish gangsters, and
sorry,
no, it's okay.
This part's kind of confusing.
It certainly looks like it.
I don't remember exactly where I'm supposed to go. So there's this. Is that where I'm supposed to go? Oh yeah, right. I'm so stupid. I got the screw attack specifically for that.
So anyway, in this movie, The Irishman, and this has been memed on so much, but Robert De Niro, who even at the time was like 75 or something like that, was digitally de-aged for like something that was happening like 40 years in the past, 50 years in the past, when he was like supposed to be like 25, 30, and it's not great. I mean, digitally de-aging stuff is always, even like Disney with its ultra money, it just does not work. Anyway, there's this one mafia character that's introducing young Robert De Niro, and he says, hey, here's this kid I was telling you about. And it's like clearly this like 75-year-old man digitally de-aged. It's like, oh god. And it's like, okay, I know Scorsese, you love having De Niro. He was in Taxi Driver, and I mean, Goodfellas is probably my favorite movie ever, and he's amazing in it. But like at some point, it's like, can you find someone different? No. That's literally the answer. That's David Lynch's answer. No, I don't think I will. I'm going to keep the same people that I'm comfortable with. And they're going to fit into every role. In fact, I'm going to write roles just for them.
I bet Tarantino legitimately was like, no, on a million things in his career.
Probably.
He's definitely that guy.
I made a Tarantino joke today.
And then he photographs your feet.
Well, actually, that was funny because I made a Tarantino joke at a band practice today. One of the songs has like a very like surf rock vibe. So one of the guys started playing like a surfer turn, like Miserlou, like da 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 da, and I was like, "Hey, is that a wild Quentin Tarantino movie?" Because like that's literally every one of those, and I was like, "Ladies, hide your feet." I like the base thing about Tarantino for that is he is like, he's not like, no, I don't like feet. He's like, okay. He's like, whatever, you got me, I like it, I don't care. Because a lot of people would be like, actually... Because whenever, like, somebody's, like, posts something they shouldn't on Twitter, they're like, I was hacked. And it's like, oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, I can't believe people, like, even, like, say that. It's like, I got hacked. It's like, okay.
Legitimately, Weird Al was hacked on his Facebook the other day. But that person posted, like, 40 things that was, like, just a bunch of, like, swear words and stuff. And you're like, okay. Yeah, like, that was very 2005 internet of, like, I hacked someone, lol, swear words, lol.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's very 2005. There's this, NFL analyst. His name is James Brown. It's not the singer James Brown, but...
What?
I know, right? He posted on Twitter, like, I don't know, this was like 5 years ago. He was, like, doing a search for, like, porn or something like that. And he, like, just posted it, like, I guess, like, his search, whatever he's looking for.
That's awesome.
And he was like, I was, hacked! And everyone was like, yeah, okay, bud. Like, it's, like, fine.
Go to Twitter and put in porn search.
I mean, he's like 70-something now, so he was already, like, but yeah, like, just somehow putting the nose, like, girls with big boobs, or I forget what he put. Moms or whatever, and it's like, I was hacked! It's like, no, dude. If someone hacked you, they would be like, lollercopters, random swear words, lol.
Or, shill your meme coin.
Oh my god. I was watching a video, and I'm sorry I keep talking about different subjects, but I was watching... have you ever heard of the guy CoffeeZilla?
Yeah.
I watch his stuff. I don't, like, religiously watch it, but once in a while it pops up, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And the title of the video was, like, how could this possibly have happened? And, like, the crypto is down, like, overall, like, 20-25% over the past, like, couple months. It's not like it went down, because Bitcoin hit 100,000 famously, and it's down to, like, 80,000. So it's not like it's like, oh, it's $1 now. But he's like...
Yeah, anyone who invested is still, like, a giga millionaire if you got it, like, under $1.
Right. Oh, absolutely. But he essentially was like, hey, so... there's all these meme coins, right? And they're, like, all completely legal now. There's, like, no regulation at all. And he's like, that sounds great, right? But, like, all these people, including Hawk to a Girl, just put out these meme coins in the last 6 months where every single person, except for someone who created it or was on the ground level behind Hawk Tua, like so they know them, gets screwed. And he's like, if this keeps happening over and over again, where people keep losing tons of money because of these meme coins and having the rug pulled out under them, what do you expect to happen to the crypto market?
Dude, did you see that the president of Argentina memed and pumped up a meme coin?
I did.
That literally happened like 2 weeks ago.
I did.
It's like, what is this world?
But it's like, if you want people to take crypto seriously, you can't be like, please invest all your money into this instead of the stock market and whatever. Also, a lot of times it's literal scams where people lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's like, yes, you can lose money in the stock market, and plenty of people do. But it's rare that you put in like $100,000 and then immediately lose it all. Like, you can put in $100,000 and lose like 10K of it,
and it's gone.
Right, literally. So his video was essentially just like, if you or we or whoever want this to succeed, then stop allowing for these meme coins where Jake Paul did one, Hawk Tua Girl, the president of Argentina, like all this. And it's like a certain other president of a country that we live in kind of did one. Like, he wasn't like in charge of it, but it was named after him, and that one was like a pump and dump as well. And there was one after his wife, and there was one after or named after his wife. And it's like, dude, you can't be like, we're all for crypto, and then be like, yeah, well, there's a good chance that if you don't put it into like Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's just going to be a quick pump and dump and you're going to lose all the money. It's like completely unfair. Because at least the stock market, as awful as it is, they have to go through a lot of processing to figure out, what it's initially worth and how many they'll be available and all that stuff.
Yep.
So at least there's that. There was a hilarious video CoffeeZilla put up where he was, I don't know, sometimes like the social media coordinators of famous people like just think they can do no wrong. He was invited on the podcast for Hawk Tua Girl like right after the pump and dump happened for the crypto coin, and he was like, hey, I have some questions. And like as he because he was quiet the whole time while they were talking about like, oh yeah, this is great and blah blah, and he was like, I have some questions. And like the second he started asking one or two like hard questions, the Hawk Tua Girl was like, oh, I'm like so tired, I just have to go to bed. Okay, night guys. And like literally left. And it's like, oh god, like how could you possibly look worse? Like, why invite somebody really smart about a subject that you're clearly effing around with to it? Like, it makes no sense.
People are just so stupid. I when you talked about that Halo guy, the speedrunner who cheated and then went to a GDQ.
Did you watch that?
I watched the video on it because I was like, how is he this stupid? And he just does it. It's like, what was he expecting?
I know GDQ.
It's like, if I
wasn't as big as it is now, but like, how?
If I had to do that, if I was like forced to do a run at GDQ and I knew I was a cheater, I'd crap my pants. I'd have a heart attack just from anxiety, just being like, I'm a fraud. I'm gonna get found out.
What do you expect? Yeah, it's like when people talk about all the time about lying on their resume, and like, okay, lying on your resume for like minor stuff, like if you're like well versed in Microsoft Excel, but you only learned 2 years ago and you're like 5 years Excel experience, it's like, whatever. But like, I'll see stories, mostly on Reddit, so take it or leave it if it's real or not, where people are like, yeah, I completely lied about this network security job and I know nothing about network security. And it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, just get in there and be like, I'll learn as I go. Like, there's some jobs where like, yes, you will learn a little as you go, but like, what are you gonna like, be like, oh, I lied about being a veterinarian, and then someone brings in the dog's like, my dog's sick. It's like, oh, yeah. Nurse. To me, it's the same thing. So yeah, that Halo guy is like so.
I just don't know what he was expecting to happen.
Yeah, and like the one thing I will give him is he didn't give up. He could have easily been like, all right, he could have been like, I'm having a really off day or whatever, and people would have been like, I guess. But he just kept going, and the longer he went. So yeah, that's, I forget the guy's name, but just look up Halo Speedrunner lied or faked runs. It's a guy who went to Games Done Quick, and he was, all accounts, the best Halo player in the world at that point, based on his runs, and they were all like spliced and messed up, and there were all these really specific strats that they were like, oh, do this strat, and he was like, what? And they were like in his videos, they were in his world record videos, and he's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And it's like, wait, what? Thank God I couldn't watch the whole thing. You could not pay me to watch the whole thing. But like the 20-minute video where they talk about it, I'm like, oh my God. And there's some because he played a legendary, there's some of the stages where he does it like slower than like an average person. I'll say an above average person. He's still good at the game. Like, it's not like he never played it before. But I think the library, which is the famous one in Halo Combat Evolved, he died like 25 times. And if the hilarious thing about stuff like Games Done Quick, when you get a bunch of nerds together, especially when it was small like that, there's usually less people that have the like chutzpah, or like, I don't know what the word is, to be like, hey, I'm stopping this, sorry. Like, to just, like, confront them and be like, yeah, we're stopping the stream, or we're stopping you on the stream.
He pretty much invented the mercy rule.
Right,
like, yeah,
right.
If you go over, like, too much, it's like you're going to kill your run.
Right, right. It's just like, we went to, we used to sell at this expo somewhat near us called Too Many Games, which, by the way, is owned by Screenwave, which is the company that
cringe,
that makes new Angry Video Game Nerd, aka the Slobs. Anyway, so this was probably like 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, and we had a pretty good, it was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We had a pretty good Friday and Saturday, but it was really difficult for me to find employees to work it, because it's down in Philly, which is like an hour and a half away. And obviously, I'm asking them to do it, so I'm going to pay them. I'm going to give them money for lunch. I'm going to pay for their gas and their tolls and stuff. And it ended up being that Friday and Saturday was, like, pretty good, but I was like, we're good, you know. I couldn't find anyone for Sunday, and I was like, you know what, we're good. We broke even, whatever. We're not going to do this again. No big deal. And we didn't show up on... Do you remember this? We didn't show up on Sunday. And, like, I got, like, the most passive-aggressive email from, like, the... It's not Big Ryan from Screenwave, but, like, the guy who, like, heads it was like, we noticed you weren't there on Sunday, and that's a very bad look for our expo. We expect you to be there all 3 days. And like I said, just very, 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 very passive-aggressive. I wish I still had the email so I could go over parts of it, but essentially being like, well, because of this, we do have to ban you from setting up for 2 years, but after the 2 years, if you want to come back, we can... consider it and go from there and put it through the process. And I was like, yeah, consider this. I wasn't gonna do it again anyway. But it would be different if he was like I said, it was just so passive aggressive, because he'd be like, hey, my name's Mike. I noticed you weren't there on Sunday. Can you please explain why? And I'd would say blah blah. I'd be like, hey, we have this thing where we really like people to be there unless they tell us otherwise. This was in the thing that you signed. And due to that, we have to, keep that in mind if you ever want to sign up again. I would totally respect that, but the way the guy did it was like, yeah, so... And I was like, oh my god. The email was like pages and pages long of just like, I don't know how to say this in a better term, like walking around...
Reddit text.
Footing. I don't know what other word to do for it. Footing around it and just being like, oh my god. And I was like, even if I wanted to come back, I would like not come back after that. And anyway, to go back to my original point, that's like a lot of the people at GDQ like would not want to like it sucks. Like I do not like. No one like. Well, very few people like going out and having to have tough conversations about stuff, but like sometimes you do. Like I've caught people stealing at the store where I have to like pull them aside and be like, dude, I caught you doing this, I know you're doing it. And most of the time they'll deny it, and I'm like, no dude, I'm convinced because of X, Y, and Z, sorry, and here's what's happening. And it sucks. I don't want to do it. Like, not a fan.
Yeah.
But it just has to be done.
The way he talked about it, like, it sounds like he wanted to talk about it, but like he just was seething, but tried to like play it up as like just like flowery text and just going on and like dancing around the subject, but he was like obviously very mad. It's like,
yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, I don't even think I responded back, to be honest, but like I find it hard to believe that like out of all the people, like the dozens or hundreds of vendors there that everyone shows up for Sunday. So at cons like that, Sundays are generally, obviously, the least busy day, and they're also the day and purposefully a reason I didn't even try to go, is there the day where you have a bunch of people coming in trying to get deals, and I just really, really hate hagglers in general about anything. And I knew if we went, it would just be constant hagglers, because you get the people coming in going, well, you don't want to bring this back with you back to your store, right? So, I mean, you have 200 on it. What about like 100? What about like 50? Kind of thing.
And it happens to be like a Pokemon game, like something that's easy.
Right. So, I was like, this is gonna friggin' suck. And it, like, is it like to be clear, is it on me? Like, is that something that like I now that I know, would I have like told them, hey, we can't show up Sunday because of whatever reason? Yeah, absolutely, and I'll take the blame for that. But if the guy just would have came in and been like, hey man, we noticed you weren't there. Can you tell me why? We try to make sure it's all filled. I'd be like, okay, totally respect that, dude. But such is life.
What a terrible boss. Or this is a
mini boss or whatever. Yeah.
But like, it's just waiting for him to do his Ganon ball thing to shoot him back, and like you can't do anything other than wait for that. I think I've been pretty generally positive on this game.
I'd say so.
I don't like the back and forth, which is constant. We've been back and forthing all this sit down. I've barely said anything, even though I'm seething. Not really, but it's annoying. But like, that's just such a terrible fight.
The crazy part about that 2 mini games is it costs like $1,000, like 7-8 years ago, to set up 2 tables, and each table was roughly like, I don't know, 7-8 feet long. So we're not talking like a huge amount. I cannot imagine what it would cost nowadays. And people always are like, why when I go to conventions is it so expensive and I'm like, because the vendors, like at New York Comic Con, the vendors are probably paying like $5,000 to $10,000 to be there. So of course the stuff is going to be